everybody, this is my little buddy Charlie, CEO, Charlie Cat Productions. And he doesn't like to get on camera, but I cornered him. Say hi to everybody, Charlie. Good boy. He is my very best buddy, and I believe he is a guardian angel, if you will. You know, each and every one of you are so special to my heart. So before we get into the program about this Postal cover, I want to read you a comment that I got this morning because it really touched my heart and it's made my day. And I do get a lot of these. I get bad ones too sometimes, and that's cool. But this one says, "Salute. I'm going to say it once more. Yours is one of the best channels on YouTube. Amazing variety for every whim, hobby, passion, and devotion. You sure use that great mind God gave you. This is my kind of Sunday morning. Much cheer and many blessings to you and your camp." Well, I don't know about using a great mind, because I don't think mine's particularly great. But comments like that I appreciate so much. But I do appreciate the negative ones too, usually, as long as they don't get vulgar. Because if you can't take criticism, how can you ever possibly grow? So anyways, having said that, on to the subject of the program. An old envelope, known as by collectors as a postal cover, and can be like solving a great mystery. Some give very few leads, while others give tantalizing clues, which is the case with this one, tantalizing clues. And as a collector of historical covers, I also get to play detective, and that's always fun. Well, case in point anyways, as I said, is this postal cover that came in my mail a couple months ago. And it was mailed originally in 1903, so that makes it, 117 years old. Now I will describe it, which lays out the numerous clues to track down the story behind this cover. The envelope features a really nice 2-cent George Washington stamp, and excuse me. The return address is printed rather than hand done. It's printed, and it reads, First Christian Church, R.D. Harding Minister, Northwest corner 8th Avenue and Walnut Street, Dayton, Kentucky. The return address, that was the return address. The cancellation in a circle reads Newport, Kentucky, Dayton Station, March 25th, 2 p.m. 1903. Now, it was sent to the following address: Mr. W.A. Gray, Secretary Council, number 88, Junior OVAM, Wilmer, IT. I was curious what the IT stands for, and we'll get to that, because I think it really makes it an more interesting cover. The last clue is on the back of the cover in the form of a round cancellation when it arrived to its destination post office, and it reads Wilmer, Indiana, got that wrong. It reads Wilmer, Ind, I-N-D, period, T-Y, period, March 25th, 1903. So there we have the clues, so let's see what we can discover. The internet has made chasing down things like this a lot easier. And I only came to a dead end once while looking for information on this. So let's get that out of the way first. I have found no information on the First Christian Church in Dayton, Kentucky, nor on the minister R.D. Harding. A lot of times when I buy a cover or postcards, when I put the names in, I find that it's somebody of some stature. I have the first governor of Michigan, Stephen T. Mason, from the 1830s, and I have, a number of them that I've found that way. And again, I digress, so let me find my place. Okay. The letter is addressed to William Gray. Besides finding a photograph, I found he is recognized as a pioneer politician and historian in Oregon County. The address itself reveals that Mr. Gray was the Secretary of Council 88 on the Junior OVAM, whose full name is Junior Order of United American Mechanics. Now, the Order of the United American Mechanics was founded in 1853 as a fraternal and political secret society. And it was just for Americans. We learned something about Mr. Gray's beliefs from what the organization itself was originally all about. They endeavored to prevent sectarian influence on the public school system and upholding the reading of the Holy Bible in schools. And boy, do we need that now. We can see the course our nation has taken morally since God and prayer were removed from our schools. And it would be a great asset to our future were it brought back and made mandatory, which will never happen, I'm afraid. But it is believed their enthusiasm for Bible reading likely came from the fact that Catholics strongly objected to the use of the Vulgate version of the Bible. Eventually, the JOUAM became a rather conventional fraternal society. The nature of their rituals is somewhat secure. Oddly, though, their prayers were not offered up in the name of Jesus. So that I find particularly odd, being the type of organization that they were. But I don't know, I couldn't find out in whose name they do pray. Now, at one point, all racial and religious restrictions were removed. However, membership remained open only to American citizens. Now, I visited Wilmer, Oregon on the internet and found very little about its origins. What I did find, though, was thanks to the often ridiculed Wikipedia, which I find to be a very convenient tool of investigation. So Wilmer is an unincorporated community which seems best known for the lovely covered bridge which has spanned Evans Creek since 1892. As of the 2010 census, there was a population of around 700. One of its early history, I quote, "The community was named for a relative of William Wilmer, who edited a newspaper in Grants Pass in 1886 and 87. And Grants Pass is about 17 miles southwest of Wilmer. William Wimer, was also said to have helped establish a post office in Wimer, which remained open until 1909. And Simon E. Simpkins was the first postmaster there. But let's move on to the main feature, which is why I actually purchased this cover in the first place. On the front, the address includes IT. And it stands for Indian Territory, which I thought was very intriguing. But it stands for Indian Territory rather than Oregon. And the cancellation on the reverse says Wimer Ind Ty, I-N-D-T-Y. I became more confused when I realized that Oregon became a state on February 14, 1859. And prior to that, it had been the territory of Oregon from August 14, 1848, until statehood in 1859. So why is the address and cancellation not Wimer, Oregon? This is where it gets very interesting, and, to my mind, a little confusing. I'll again quote from good old Wikipedia. The Indian Territory and the Indian Territories are terms that generally describe an evolving land area set aside by the United States government for the relocation of Native Americans who had aboriginal title to their land as a sovereign, independent state. In general, the tribes added land they occupied in exchange for land grants in 1803. The concept of an Indian Territory was an outcome of the U.S. federal government's 18th and 19th century policy on Indian removal. They were considered below average. And so the horrific doctrine of eminent domain was used to steal their property. And I do mean steal. After the American Civil War, the policy of the U.S. government was one of assimilation. Indian Territory later came to refer to an unorganized territory whose general borders were originally set by the Indian Intercourse Act of 1834 and was the successor to the remainder of the Missouri Territory after Missouri gained statehood. The borders of Indian Territory were reduced in size as various organic acts were passed by Congress to create incorporated territories of the United States. The 1807 Oklahoma Enabling Act created the single state of Oklahoma by combining Oklahoma Territory and Indian Territory, ending the existence of an unorganized, unincorporated, independent Indian territory as such. Before Oklahoma statehood, Indian Territory from 1890 onward consisted of Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, and Seminole Indian tribes and their territorial holdings. Indian Territory then is much different from Indian Reservation. The reservations remain with the boundaries of U.S. states, but largely exempt from the state's jurisdiction. So while this may all sound confusing, I take Indian Territory to mean a generic title describing an area, just like I'm in the Great Lakes Territory, or what was at one time the Michigan Territory, and is now Michigan. Still, for it to be used on a legal document such as mail, it clearly had a significant standing legally, I would have to think. An interesting cover, an interesting little trip to discover some of the secrets of the past. Not secrets, but not generally looked at. And a fascinating piece. The cover, let me show you again, although I'm sure either this way or this way, you've seen an image of it by now. But it has that really nice red Washington stamp and the nice printed return label. And so that is about it. And I hope you enjoyed this little voyage of discovery with me, all about the really awesome this postal cover. You know, God bless each and every one of you. I appreciate you all so much. And truly you are a blessing to my heart every single day. So I will be back with you real soon to look at some more postal history items in my expanding collection. I would encourage you to take a look at the YouTube channel #Philately, because it is an amazing channel with a lot of amazing information. And Graham, who runs that channel in the UK, is brilliant at what he does. Thank you so much. Talk to you again real soon, and have an awesome and blessed day.